Well, AI certainly in artificial intelligence and RPA, a very important subject. I couldn't think of a better person to start us off. Greg, tell us about the state of the state. What's happening over in the JAIC?
Thanks for the opportunity to be with you here today. I think over the past 2 years, you've seen a real change in the mindset of the Department of Defense with respect to artificial intelligence. The types of arguments that I used to have a couple of years ago was about whether or not artificial intelligence was important and whether or not now was the right time for the department to be accelerating the adoption of artificial intelligence. That discussion is essentially over. The leadership of the department, by and large, gets it, and that's true at each of the services. That's true in the combatant commands. That's true in the Office of the Secretary of Defense. And it's just one illustration of the prioritization that the department has put on artificial intelligence. My own organization, the Joint Artificial Intelligence Center, was elevated to be a direct report to the Deputy Secretary of Defense. So the number 2 person for the entire 3 million plus person Department of Defense. And as we've seen a recognition of the importance of artificial intelligence, we're also moving from one-off types of projects to sort of demonstrate and illustrate the capabilities of artificial intelligence towards thinking about what are the technical barriers that make adopting artificial intelligence difficult? And how do we make those barriers reduced so that more folks can actually implement AI capabilities with less effort and less cost? In the case of the Joint Artificial Intelligence Center, we're intimately involved in many of these efforts, but I want to emphasize that there's good work being done across the entire Department of Defense. So I'll talk about 2 specific things that we're doing to sort of reduce the technical barriers and accelerate AI. The first is the Accelerating Data and AI Initiative, or ADA. Deputy Secretary of Defense Kathleen Hicks announced this effort in June 2021, and it is a really exciting opportunity for the entire Department of Defense. Essentially, what we're recognizing is that at the same time we're developing more AI-enabled capabilities in our research institutions and in our program offices, we also need to be modifying the infrastructure and approaches at the combatant commands so that these capabilities can more quickly and effectively be integrated. And also so that we can have the capabilities to ensure that different data sets coming off the real diversity of technological systems that exist in the combatant command can effectively share data and make that available for machine learning algorithms, which improve their performance as they're exposed to more and better quality and more diverse data sets. So ADA is a really exciting initiative that the Joint Artificial Intelligence Center is leading, but is really involving the activities of so many different organizations across the department, including the CIO, the CDO, and combatant commands themselves. So that's one thing that we're up to. The second thing I'd like to highlight is the Joint Common Foundation. And this is a recognition that cloud-first software systems really need to be born in a cloud-enabled environment that enables what we call the DevSecOps approach. And for folks who don't know, there's a different mindset when you're working with cloud-first software that is delivered as a service than traditional software systems in the Department of Defense, which you might burn onto a CD-ROM, install once, and then forget about for the next 5 years. The good news is that that mindset is really being erased across the department. And so the Joint Common Foundation is a software development environment that includes not only sort of all the best practices tooling that software developers have come to expect in commercial industry, but also some of the secret sauce capabilities that AI and machine learning software in particular needs. And this is an environment that we've been working on with partners across the department for over a year now. And I'm delighted to note that we hit initial operating capability at the beginning of this year. And we've now onboarded programs from each of the armed services. And folks are actually finding that developing AI capabilities, when you do it in the Joint Common Foundation, you have a faster and more effective path to getting capabilities into the hands of your end users and then iteratively updating those systems. Really so that's fantastic. Just a sample of what's going on at the department.